Every limitation that you're living in right now was a boundary that someone else chose for you, or one that you drew yourself. And the most important thing that you'll learn is that boundaries that you drew yourself can be redrawn by the same awareness that it originated. Your form has boundaries. Your body can only be in one place at one time. Your day has only 24 hours. Your energy has limits that you must respect. Those boundaries are real. They give you shape. They give you structure, form. They're part of being a physical form. And honoring them is wisdom, not weakness. But there are other boundaries, the ones that aren't physical, the ones that exist in your mind, in your identity, in how you see yourself, and what you believe is possible. I'm not the kind of person who does that. That's a boundary. People like me don't get those kind of opportunities. That's a boundary. I've always been this way. That's a boundary. And none of those boundaries are physical. They're stories. They're identities you adopted, sometimes consciously, often from the environment you grew up in, the people who raised you, the system that categorized you. The form has real limits, but most of the limits you're living inside aren't the form's limits. They're the story's limits. And stories can be rewritten by the same consciousness that wrote them. I'm not saying you can do literally anything without consequences. Physical reality is real. Wisdom respects it. But the boundaries that kept most people small aren't physical. They're perceptual. And perception is governed by awareness. Expand the awareness, and the boundaries that seem permanent reveal themselves as choices. Choices that can be made differently by someone who sees more clearly. The form has limits. The frequency doesn't. And most of what has been limiting you is not form. If you just identified a boundary that isn't physical, one that exists only in the story, double tap your screen right now. The architect doesn't deny physical reality. The architect distinguishes between real boundaries and chosen ones. And the chosen ones get redrawn the moment awareness expands. The people who break through limitations that hold everyone aren't superhuman. They just identified which boundaries are real and which ones are stories. Then they rewrote the stories, and the limitations dissolved because they were never structural. They were perceptual. This is where both of my books converge. The Art of Self-Mastery teaches you to identify the mental and emotional boundaries that has been governing your life unconsciously. Be No One gives you the framework to rewrite them for forging new identities that aren't constrained by old stories. Together, they give you awareness to see the boundary and the architecture to redraw it. Both of my books are on Amazon. The links are in my bio. Comment rewrite if you just found a boundary that needs to be redrawn, and tag someone who's been living inside of a story that isn't true anymore.